Hey there, I'm Zari from ZariBanks.co. Thank you so much for being here. I want to talk to you today about the purpose of a prophet. This is my second video, so I hope you have already watched the purpose of a prophet part 1. If you haven't, you can check my YouTube channel and watch that video next, or stop this one and watch that one. But before I do that, I want to let you know that there is a class, a video instruction for the prophetic vision board available as supernaturalubooks.info. I don't know why I have such a hard time keeping that books in there. Supernaturalubooks.info. You can go and get all of my downloads there and all of my paperback books as well. But in January, I taught a course called Prophetic Vision Board. You know, people love vision boards and stuff like that. But the thing about being a believer is a vision board is just the beginning. You want to take those prophetic words that the Lord has released over your life and put those on your vision board, because the more agreement you have for anything that the Lord says, the greater manifestation you're going to have in your life. So when I started noticing my process of how my prophetic vision board was working out, the Lord, of course, said, I want you to teach that to other people. So I offered the course for free in January 2017. And for those who didn't take it, it's available for like either a $5 or a $7 download at supernaturalubooks.info. Just click on digital downloads and you can do that. Here's one of the testimonies that I received from that course. Let me begin by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm always asked to do a vision board parties, and to be honest, I really don't like to do them anymore because I wasn't really seeing results. Well, the funny thing is, by me following your teachings through your books, webinars, and mentorship, I was literally doing my prophetic vision board system that you taught in January 2017 before I took your course, before I took your workshop. So after the workshop, I put some of my prophetic words on the board that I wanted to see manifest, and lo and behold, when I placed the prophetic words and confirmations on the board, I noticed that I'm at the stage of manifestation. The crazy thing, I would have never thought that I was literally in the stage of breakthrough if I hadn't recorded it. Now I'm able to watch over it with the board. I already know more testimonies are to come, and I can't wait to share those with you too. Because of me going through this process with you and seeing some manifestations last year, I've shared this process with others as well. Girl, you are definitely instrumental to God's kingdom here on earth. Thank you for accepting the call on your life. God bless you, my sister in Christ. So that's one of the testimonies I received. It's one of my favorite ones, and I really am honored to receive a testimony from this person, because this is a extremely successful person. I've been seeing 222 or 2222 for the last 3 days now, so I guess that's my number that I need to focus on and start paying attention to in these next days ahead. So I'm gonna have to note that in my journal when I finish recording this video. But I admire her a lot. She's super successful. I love that she does. She's diligent in her focus. She just finished her first book. I mentioned in that book, and I'm doing a beta read of it right now to give her some feedback for it. So she's just somebody who she is just on it. Like she knows how to focus and knows how to grab hold of those nuggets and successful strategies for success and go after it and get that stuff. So it's always cool to be connected to those types of people. But one of the things that the Lord spoke to me a while ago, like back in beginning, like almost a year ago now, about 9 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, about being a prophet. One morning I was sleeping and he was just speaking, there's some reasons that you're called to be a prophet and stuff like that. One of the things that he was saying is in the first video, like I shared part 1, and this is number 2. But one of the things about being a prophet is that you're also a seer. You can be a seer but not be a prophet. You can ask the Lord for the gift of seeing. You can meditate on Ephesians 1:17 through 19 for a season, and the Lord will open up and he'll give you sight, and you'll be able to see like you've never been able to see before. And you just work on that gift, develop that gift, and then you will be a seer. But so you could be a seer and not be a prophet, but if you're a prophet, you're a seer. And so the second thing that he spoke to me about being a prophet, the purpose of being a prophet, is so that you can see, into the future, and to be able to release, those promises, that destiny, on all of that stuff to other people. And of course, that's one of the things that the Lord does, is because he sees that whole picture. He came up with the processes and offices and, dreams and visions and all those different things, so that he can release what it is that we don't see before he speaks, and have those things, be placed into the atmosphere so that we can watch over them, monitor them, partner with them, agree with them, and bring manifestation, right? So another purpose of being a prophet is so that you can see, speak, and release those things that are to come. So here are some examples of being a prophet. I have been, doing this. Basically, the stuff that I'm going to share right now are things that have to do with me personally, that have happened in my own personal life over the last week, and I've been recording them in my 7M prayer time, which I'm teaching a 7M prayer course for free. in March of 2017. You can go to zarbanks.co to register for that, starting after February 5th. But one of the things that I've been praying for in my 7M prayer time is that God would awaken the spiritual gifts that are inside me, stir up the spiritual gifts that are inside of me. And one of my gifts is being a seer. So before I get started on these instances of seeing, let me finish telling you how that gift was awakened to me in the very beginning. Back in 2011, 2012, I was listening to Kenneth Hagin, and he was saying that he meditated on Ephesians 1:17 through 19 for 60 days so that the Lord could open up his eyes and he could begin to see angels and have visions and all of that good stuff. So when I heard that he did that, I did that for a season as well. And of course, the Lord opened up my eyes and gave me the ability to be able to be a seer. And it's so funny. Anybody can release that anointing. I release that to you in Jesus' name. If you want to receive it by faith, and continue to meditate on Ephesians 1:17 through 19, and then that will open up for you and that will develop for you. But when I was at the Greater Dreams 2016 conference in April last year, there was a prophet who came, and she was like, "You're a seer, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "You're a prophet." And I was like, "Nope." And she's like, "You're a seer." And I said, "Yes." And she said, "You're a prophet." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And so it's so funny that when I am asking the Lord, stir up the spiritual gifts in me, one of the first ones he's working on is my ability to be able to see things. Excuse me, my phone's going off. Okay, so last week, on January 18th, I don't know, I have it written down here in my notes. It says, I don't know if I was, if it was a closed vision or an open vision, or if I was like already awake or just in the process of waking up. But a lot of times I see stuff right before I wake up that I really need to get up and write down, and the Lord speaks specific things to me right before I wake up so that I can be sure, not to lose those things, get up and write them down immediately. But right before I woke up, I was seeing a PayPal notification on my phone in a vision. And like I said, I don't know if I was, awake, asleep. I don't know if my alarm clock had already gone off and I'd hit snooze or something like that. Yes, I do snooze. I always set my alarm clock a little bit earlier than I have to have it, than I have to actually be up, because I am a snoozer. But I don't know, what portion I was in. And then that happened later. I got manifestation of that later that day. And then the next day, so that was on January 18th, and the next day on the 19th, which was a Thursday, I had a vision of a friend of mine. And let me tell you something, when there's this friend that I'm talking about that I had the vision of being in a conversation with her, it happens every time right before she calls me. She always calls the next day. So I'll either dream about her or have a vision of her, and then the next day she'll call. And then I know to start praying in advance when I do have that vision or that dream of her, because she's usually calling because she needs a prayer request. And then when she called the next day, it was because she was traveling out of town, and we were having that big snowstorm and stuff last week, and the ice all over the roads and everything. And she was asking me to pray as she traveled to go and do that stuff. So it's really cool to be able to see those things happen in advance. That helped me prepare in advance, so that when, she called to tell me what her prayer request was, I was like, oh, that's already done. I've already lifted you up to the Lord. Just go in peace and know, that you're going to have success. All right. And then the Saturday, so these are like 3 or 4 days in a row that all this stuff is happening last week while I was praying for the Lord to, reactivate and activate, stir up those gifts that are inside of me. And that's according to what Paul said to Timothy in 1 Timothy. And then so on Saturday, which was January 21st, I heard this text tone go off 2 times, and then I looked at my phone, of course, and it's not there. And then like an hour later, the texts actually came through like exactly the way that I heard them in the spirit before they came. And I don't know why that happens, but I hear that often. Like I'll hear my phone ring actually, a few minutes before it rings. And that happens like once I was hearing my mentor's, because her text tone is the typewriter, and so I was hearing her text tone, and then she finally texted. It was like the next day or a couple hours or something like that later. And so I was talking to my other mentor about that, my prophetic mentor about that, and he was saying it has to do with the Lord's timing. So just watch out for that timing, notice that stuff. But I know now when I hear those things in advance to be aware there's something that's coming through that I need to pay attention to. And all the times, like the text message that follows or comes with it, or the phone call that follows or comes with it, it's one that I want to address right away. It's it's not stuff that I want to be looking at a little bit later, because I do that all the time. You can look at a text message at any time because they're just there. And so I appreciate those heads up. And that's the great thing about the Lord, being able to see things in advance so that you know how to prepare and how to respond, as opposed to living in a reactionary state all the time. That's a great thing about being a seer. The Lord will open that up for you. He'll bless you with that. He'll allow you to be able to see things, especially pertaining to you, the people that you're in covenant with, the people that you minister to, and you'll end up being a blessing to them, and everybody will have testimonies. All right? So that's another reason for the prophetic gifting, is so that you can see in advance, so that you can release, and also so that you can prepare and respond in a godly way, as opposed to simply reacting. Because if you know from, just life in general, when you're reacting instead of responding, things don't end up going the right way for you. You never end up with the results that you desire to end up with. But if he's given you that information in advance, because you can see it coming through, you know that it's coming, you have that spirit witness that it's coming through in advance, then you can start making moves, to be ready. All right. So don't forget to visit me at zaribanks.co, and God bless you.